The holidays are here, and everyone is looking for a unique gift idea for that special someone. Hero Habit has you covered. Swing by HeroHabit.com today and start a subscription to one of our monthly trading card boxes. You pick your favorite teams, and we send you 20 to 25 cards every single month. No more sorting through hundreds of packs to pick up your favorite players and being stuck with tons of cards you don't want. We do the searching and sorting for you, plus we include autographs, relics, and short print cards too. We have boxes for baseball, football, and basketball available for $15 a month, and shipping is always free. Plus, if you're not into sports, we have music, TV, comic book, movie, and WWE mystery boxes, which have a guaranteed hit in every box. Whether you're looking for something for someone else or you just want to treat yourself to a fun, affordable way to collect your heroes, Hero Habit boxes are the greatest idea. Swing by HeroHabit.com today to sign up and use coupon code podcast to save 15% off your first month. That's HeroHabit.com, coupon code podcast to save 15% on your first month of boxes. Okay, let's get the show started. Hello, and happy Monday. Welcome to Kinks and Beats Daily. I'm your host, Tony Fry, as always, and I'm glad you're joining me today. Today is kind of a big deal for us here at Kinks and Beats Daily because we have our first listener call-in. And so we're going to listen to his thoughts shortly. As always, I just want to, usually I put this at the back, but if you'd like to be included on this show, give me a call, 925-494-1739. If it's about a song we've already talked about, I will include it in like a listener mail type segment at the end of a future episode. And if it's a song we haven't talked about yet, I will save those and stockpile them for when we do talk about it. So yeah, give me a call, 925-494-1739, about your favorite or least favorite Beatles and Kinks music. And why, or why you think it's relevant or horrible or great or genius or whatever the case is. I want to hear about what you all think about this music. Today we're talking about a tune called Definite Maybe, which was released June 10th, 1983 on the album State of Confusion. Non-Kinks fans will know State of Confusion probably because of its huge hit Come Dancing, which was the highest charting song the Kinks had had in America since Tired of Waiting for You, which we covered in an earlier podcast. It hit number 6. The album, in general, just peaked at number 26 on the Billboard charts here in the States and was certified gold like the same year in Canada. So it was a big hit album. It was, the Kinks were well into this new phase. I don't know if you'd call it the third or fourth phase of their career, where they went from British invasion to kind of Brit pop cult act to moderately successful, straight ahead early 70s rock act to concept album act to stadium arena act. They morphed and evolved as the years went by and really stretched out a career with phases for everybody. If you like rock and roll music, at some point there's going to be a phase of the Kinks' entire catalog that you're going to gravitate to. And if you don't, I don't think we should be friends. But if you're listening to this, I think we are friends. But yeah, so this is kind of at the peak of their renewed popularity in the States. They'd have some hits. They're selling albums. They're selling out stadiums. We are getting close to losing Mick Avery on drums. He's been there since the beginning. He's been wanting out for a while. He is on this album, but we are getting close to the end of Mick Avery on drums. And as our caller will mention, we have Ian Gibbons on keyboards, who passed away just this year, 2019, and Jim Rodford on bass guitar, who passed away last year. So this is kind of a timely tribute. Any of the songs of this album will be timely tributes because 2 of the 5 members of the band are no longer with us. So Definite Maybe, stop me if you've heard this one, has no chorus. So it's a tune about bureaucracy, about incompetence, about frustration from our standpoint. It starts off, got a letter through the post that says I don't exist. Apparently, the new computer thinks I won't be missed. We need more facts. Perhaps you would find out and forward them. There's no proof or trace or date or place or where or when. It's a cool opening phrase. So he's been pronounced dead by some agency, government agency, one would assume. And he has to prove that he's not dead. And, Central Information's got no news today. Is there a change in my position? No decision, no decision. So that's a cool thing right there. This no decision is it's 2 words repeated. It's a simple little musical motif, but it pops up all over the place. It's a recurring theme in the verse that sounds like this, the second verse, or I guess you would call it the bridge, where the round and round the circles go. It pops up all over the place. And it's a cool little trick to take the place of the fact that you've got no real chorus. You've got this recurring single line of music that pops up all over the place. Then you get the riff, and then all I ever get is a definite maybe. Now, that is the title of the song, Definite Maybe. So, you would usually consider that a chorus. He doesn't even sing it. It's one line of vocal that's, all I ever get is a definite maybe. It's not even really sung. But that's another thing, that phrase, along with no decision, that phrase pops up throughout the song. So basically, you've got 2 different kinds of verses here. You've got the opening verse in D, and he basically vamps on that D for a while, and then Central Information's got no news today shifts to another chord, and then that repeats. And then he goes to this round and round the circle goes, stood in line, but the counter was closed. And when I ask who is responsible, nobody knows. Try one of those. So that switches to the 4 chord, which is a common thing to do with like a bridge. And it's got what he loves to do. Whoops. He's got a descending bass line over the G chord. So you've got the G. So he's got that little bass line in there. He does it again on the C chord. And then it's back to the D. So that is would typically be a bridge. But the way he uses it, it's extended out. It comes back with different lyrics. I would consider that a second verse. So really we've got 2 different songs kind of merged into one here, with a verse in the key of D and then a verse that focuses on G. And then it all mixes up. And you've got this no decision popping in and out, and the phrase definite maybe popping in and out in different spots. It's really cool songwriting, and it's I don't know how guys do it. I've written some songs, and this kind of free form lyric, I mean, the words don't even match up. The first line of the first verse, got a letter through the post that says I don't exist. Okay, good line. The first line of the second verse, which is based on the same chordal pattern and the same melody, says head office thinks I'm dead. So, got a letter through the post that says I don't exist. That's 13 syllables. Then the next time, head office thinks I'm dead. That's 6. So this isn't really, this would be a tough song to cover live because the melody changes constantly. The groove changes. The vibe of the song changes. And yet it's just a good fast rocker. It's got some cool guitar riffs mixed in all over the place. The one towards the end that they use as like the last riff to close out the song, and it pops up before that, but the to highlight it, it's the one at the end. reminds me of another song, and I can't for the life of me figure out what it is. I don't even remember if it came before or after. But at 4 minutes and 22 seconds, it's kind of a long song to not have a chorus. So, like, there are a ton of hooks, there's a ton of great guitar work. It's a great, up tempo song. The recording is very radio friendly, but 4.5 minutes with no chorus probably explains why it wasn't released as an A-side single. Because with a little tweaking, I think it could have been a hit, maybe a radio edit. It's a cool tune, and it's on an album. And I spoke about this a little bit the other day when we talked about, what were we talking about? I forget. Rock and Roll Fantasy off Misfits, where this particular era, I don't go back to a ton. And this album has never been a favorite of mine. There's some songs on it that I love, obviously, but it's never been one that I pop in and listen to from start to finish very often. But listening to this song a few times, researching for this podcast episode, I think I'm going to revisit it and listen to it with fresh ears, because it has been a long time since I listened to it. And, your tastes change. There's a Paul McCartney album, Ram, which the first time I listened to it, I think I was in high school when I bought it. I hated it. I thought it was horrible. And I listened to it once, put it away, didn't listen to it again. And then like a year and a half, 2 years later, I mean, it was a long time had passed. I popped it in again just because, why own a record if you're never going to listen to it? And suddenly I was like, this is the best Paul McCartney album he ever did. So, your taste change, your appreciation for things change. I'm going to dig deeper into this album beyond the hits and the couple tunes that I automatically know I like. And try to get past. I'm not a big fan of the sound of the way drums were recorded in the 80s, and this album utilizes that sound. It was the fashion, it was the style. I get it, but I've never been a fan. So I have to get past that because there's some good drum work on it. I just don't like the sound of the drums. But I'm gonna dig deeper into this album so that we, can maybe have a new appreciation. And I hope that by listening to this podcast, we're all going back and listening to these songs with new ears, maybe a new outlook on it, or a new approach to how we're taking in these songs, and either gaining a new appreciation for songs we didn't care for, or, getting a deeper appreciation for songs that we already loved for other reasons. So, like I said, we had a first voicemail caller, Tom from Atlanta, and we actually texted it back and forth. Tom's a cool Kinks fan because he saw them live and saw Ray do something to Dave that I'd like to have him on the podcast as a guest to chat about. But let's hear his thoughts on State of Confusion. I'm sorry, Definite Maybe. State of Confusion is the album.
Hi, yes, this is Tom, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. And I would like to talk about a song by the Kinks called Definite Maybe. It's off one of their stadium-era albums, and I really like Ray Davies' quote-unquote ordinary man perspective. And you really see that come through in this song. He discusses all the mundane, bureaucratic snafus that seem to really mess up our lives from time to time, and this is particularly resonant even today, 30, 40 years after he wrote the song. When we have interactions with government at the local level, or with online shopping and returns we have to make there, or with bureaucracy in any area of our lives, it's really resonant. I also like one other thing about the song, and that is that you can really hear Ian Gibbons' keyboard work on this one. And it's really a good time to be discussing that song and Gibbons' work because he sadly just recently passed away. Anyway, that's all I got. Thanks.
It's true what Tom was saying about the relevance today. In a lot of ways, it might be more relevant today because I think when Ray wrote it, there was still a focus on delivering good customer service to your customers and trying to do good by people who were in need of your assistance, whether it was at the DMV or at the grocery store or whatever. And now you've got just this outsourcing of manners where, you know, anybody that has had to call into their cell phone provider or the cable company in the last 10 years can relate to this song. Anybody that's dealt with a bank can relate to this song. And it seems like it's getting worse, and so this song might grow, sadly, because it's not the kind of song you want to expand its relevance of, but it actually might grow in relevance as it gets older and as it ages, that's a sad state of affairs, my friends. Anyway, you could be on this podcast with me. 925-494-1739. Email me at kinksandbeats@herohabit.com, or you can visit herohabit.com every Friday for a rundown of this week's episodes, and I have all of the contact information and all the subscribing information handy for you there. And what are you listening to tomorrow? Oh, this song, I guarantee most people, even Beatles fans, have never really thought of this song as much of anything. But I'm here to tell you, it's a cool little rocker that is gone forgotten because it's kind of cheesy also. All right. Subscribe and follow. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Hero Habit, and make sure that you are leaving ratings and reviews so that we can keep this podcast going for another 3,000 episodes or however long it's going to take to get through all these songs. All right. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great Monday. The holidays are here, and everyone is looking for a unique gift idea for that special someone. Hero Habit has you covered. Swing by HeroHabit.com today and start a subscription to one of our monthly trading card boxes. You pick your favorite teams, and we send you 20 to 25 cards every single month. No more sorting through hundreds of packs to pick up your favorite players and being stuck with tons of cards you don't want. We do the searching and sorting for you, plus we include autographs, relics, and short print cards too. We have boxes for baseball, football, and basketball available for $15 a month, and shipping is always free. Plus, if you're not into sports, we have music, TV, comic book, movie, and WWE mystery boxes, which have a guaranteed hit in every box. Whether you're looking for something for someone else or you just want to treat yourself to a fun, affordable way to collect your heroes, Hero Habit boxes are the greatest idea. Swing by HeroHabit.com today to sign up and use coupon code podcast to save 15% off your first month. That's HeroHabit.com, coupon code podcast to save 15% on your first month of boxes. Okay, let's get the show started. Okay, so I'm going to level with you. Obviously, I just hit the wrong button right there. I don't edit these shows. I try to do them live in studio so that the takes are fresh off the top of my head. You know, it's genuine. And I don't have the time to edit all these episodes and get it out on a daily thing. So sometimes I'm going to goof. I hit the wrong soundboard button. You had to listen to an ad twice. That said, you should go to Hero Habit and subscribe to one of these boxes because they're cool. And if you haven't seen a baseball card lately, they are different than they used to be. But I mean, that's beside the point. I didn't mean to play you two ads. And now you're listening this far. What is wrong with you? Why did you listen to the ad twice? That is a devotion to sticking out to the end of the podcast that I admire. You and I are friends now. So here's what I'll do. Since you made it through this part, I'll give you another 5% off, 20% discount if you use the coupon code, what are we going to call it? Podcast Hero, one word. If you use Podcast Hero at checkout, I'll take 20% off of your purchase. This is not going to happen again. This is just, I'm just making this up as I go along. But you're still here. You're still listening. And you should be rewarded for that. So Podcast Hero, and that'll take 20%. And I'm going to leave that coupon up for a week. So that comes down, what day is today? The 18th. That comes down on the 22nd, end of this week. Podcast Hero. All right. Now for the proper ending. This podcast is presented by the Hero Habit Podcast Network. Swing by HeroHabit.com today to comment on this episode and poke around our growing database of sports and pop culture news, reviews, and collectibles. HeroHabit.com. Collect your heroes. Now that's how you end the podcast.